Welcome back to my VBA tutorials. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. My name is Namita Devi and in this video we will be covering our third chapter of my VBA tutorials, which is how we can customize the recorded macro or how we can build our own macro from scratch. So let's begin. In my last video, how to record a macro, we have taken the example of merging sheets into one. So let's have a look to the macro. Go to developer, go to Visual Basics. Then you can see that we had recorded a macro which was copy pasting the data from three sheets stored A, B and C into a single sheet named as combined data. At the top, we had customized very two small syntaxes which were deleting the combined data sheet and then adding and renaming it to combined data. Now, this macro is very much dependent on the number of sheets that I have, three sheets store A, B, and C. It also depends on the sheet name. It also depends on the range that I have provided. It also depends on that I should have a combined data file, combined data sheet in my work file so that this macro can delete that sheet. So what if I do not have the combined data sheet in my existing file? What if I don't know how many sheets are there in my file? What if I don't know what is the name of all the sheets? And what if I don't know what is the last row and last column in each sheet? So it is very much dependent on all these conditions. In this video, we will create a macro. We will customize this macro, we'll take it to the next level, which will be independent of all these conditions. Now, I want to tell my macro that you need to execute this syntax only if this sheet exists in my work file. So I will introduce an if condition here. In the last video, I have introduced you to my cheat sheet that I regularly refer while coding my macros. So let's see if I can get any if condition in my cheat sheet. You can go to my website, myexcelclub.com, and then from the top, you can click on VBA syntax. You can get into the article 50 most useful and common VBA syntaxes. When you scroll down, you can see a table. Let me find out if I have any if condition syntax available here. I'm doing Control F. I'm typing if. There is no if condition statement. So here, what we will do is we will go for the external research and we will go to our favorite Google, and I will tell VBA code to check for a sheet and then delete it. You will get number of websites which are telling you the syntax, and let me go to this first website. Here when you scroll down, you will see that yes, I need this syntax, delete sheet if it exists. So here you can see the syntax of the macro. I don't need sub and end sub statement. We know that our if condition is if my sheet exists, then only I need to delete it. But what is this for statement? Here I will introduce you to a new word, loop. So what is a loop? A loop allows user to repeat the same task multiple times without having to write code for each of the tasks. So for example, in my work file, I don't know how many sheets are there. I don't know how many rows and columns are there in my each sheet. So I will make up a loop which will check for each sheet, and then when the loop finds that I got a file named combined data, and then it will delete it. So go to the website again and copy this syntax from for loop to the next. Like we had head and tail of a macro, sub and sub, we have head and tail for all the statements that we have. For example, if statement, I have if statement, this is the head and this is the tail, and if. For loop, I have the head for, and then next is the tail of the for. Control C from your keyboard and then come back to the macro, and I am pasting the code here. The name of my sheet is combined data. I'm changing the sheet name here. I'm deleting this syntax as of now. Now, what this for loop is doing, for each sheet in my active worksheet, if the sheet name is combined data, then delete this sheet. End the statement, and then it will check for the next sheet. Moving on, we can keep this syntax as it is. Then I have 3 sections in my syntax. All these sections are doing the same thing. And for repetitive tasks, like I said, we can use loop here, because all of the subsections are doing the same thing, selecting the sheet, copying the data, and then pasting it to the combined sheet. So I am deleting these codes, and I'm keeping this code for my reference, and then I'm copying this for loop from above and then pasting it again here. Now I am just deleting this action, because we are going to perform different actions now. And if you can see in my work file, I have a sheet named flowchart. And when this syntax will run, I will have one more sheet, combined data. So I want to run these actions in all my sheet except these 2 sheets, flowchart and combined data. So I will write here my if condition. If my sheet name is combined data and flowchart and flowchart. Let me write it here. And I want to execute these sections if my sheet name is not flowchart and combined data. So instead of equal to, we will write like this. This means not equal to. Now my next section will be, I need to go to sheet this, which means I will do sheets dot activate, because we are ignoring this hard coded sheet name. We are using a for loop here. Then we need to select a range. So to select a range, I also don't know what is the last row and last column in each sheet. So this at this stage, I'm going to tell you how you can write a dynamic range. So for example, if I have to select a range from A1 to D2, so the syntax is the column name, and then the row number, the column name, and then the row number. To select only a single cell, the syntax is like, I need to select D2 cell, then the syntax is cells D2, which means in macro, I need to write this syntax, cells, second row and fourth column. So it takes only numbers. When you combine these range and cells, that will give you the dynamic range. For example, for this range A1 to D2, how I can write it using the range and cells. So the syntax is this. You can copy this syntax from the description, and then you can write, that the cells is using the numbers, the row number and the column number. So my range is A1, so my row is 1 and my column is 1. Next range is D2, so my column is 4 and my row is 2. Now we will make this range dynamic as per our need, as per our macro. Let me go back to the macro. What I need is the selection of this. So let me copy this from here to here. I'm copying this code from here to here. Now my first cell will always be A2, not A1. A1 will contain the headers in all the sheets. So I will be copying the data from A2. So it will be A2, and then I don't know the last row and last column. So I'm writing as of now here last row, comma, last column. So this is how you can get the dynamic range. let me go back to my macro, and now after the sheet is activated, I want to know what is my last row and last column. So I will again go to my cheat sheet. I will search for the syntax of last row and last column. I can get it from here. So copy this syntax and then paste it here. Then copy the last column syntax and then paste it here. After getting the last row and last column, I can select the range. Go to this sheet, copy the syntax from here. I will share this syntax in the description. Coming back to my macro, copying the content dot select. So my last row and last column. So I have selected the dynamic range here. And then after selecting the range, I can do the copy of the selection, and then I can go to the sheet combined, and then in the combined data I again need to select the range. I also don't know what is the last row of my combined data, so that I can select that range and can paste my data from there. So I need the last row in my combined data. Let me rename it. You cannot use the same name for the combined data, so I am changing it to CD. And now in this bucket I will get the last row of the combined data. Now I will select this range. So instead of range you can use cells because it is more dynamic. You can write the numbers here. So my number would be I will always select either A2, A3, A4, A5. So my column will be fixed, but my row is different. So you can write, my last row is this, okay? So last row and my column will remain same, A1 dot select. And then I will paste the content. I'm deleting this, zooming the sheet, or let keep it as it is. I'm deleting these syntaxes. The last row and last column are the last row and column which contains the data. But in my combined data file, for example, this is my combined data file. My last row would be 15 because this is the last row where the data is present. But I want to paste my data from the next row, which is empty. So I need to add one in my row number. So coming back to here, with the last row of CD, I want to add one more row so that it pastes the data from the next row. Now we will test our macro step by step. Keep your cursor here and press F8 key from your keyboard, and then the macro is working fine. Keep pressing F8 key till the time this macro gets completed. At the back end, you can see what all these syntaxes are doing. Keep pressing F8 key, and then yes, my macro is working fine. It is copy pasting the data at the correct location, and then end. Now we are left with the headers in our combined data. So I did some external research how we can get the syntax of getting data for the headers. So I'm just copy pasting my research here, my syntax here, and I will share this syntax with you in the description. You can also do your external research and can get these codes. So what this code is doing, it is creating a bucket named my headers, and it is asking from the user, whoever the user will be for this macro, asking from the user, please select your headers, whatever you want in your combined data, and then I'm just copy pasting it in my combined data sheet. At the end, I'm also creating a message box which is telling that this macro is done. So we will see how this will look like. Just run this macro, delete. Now this is asking select the headers of your data. So I will select my headers from any of the sheet. Okay, it has pasted the data and it has shown the pop-up window which is saying that you are done with this macro.